On changing jobs at any point in the future, you have to listen to this. Or if you're just joining the job market, you're a college grad, a new survey is challenging some long-held beliefs about what your resume should look like. Outplacement firm Challenger Grain Christmas surveyed 150 top recruiters. What did they find? Well, thank goodness for Vice President Andrew Challenger, who has the results. Hi, Andrew. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Liz. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So you checked out 150 recruiters and their opinions on what a resume should look like. You found a whole bunch of things, but I want to dispel some of the most widely held beliefs. Number one, this is sort of like the resume version of what we just did with Byron Wien. Number one, how long should your resume be? Everybody says keep it to one page. Is that true?
So this is a long-standing belief. It's common knowledge you're supposed to condense your entire career down to a single page. But when we conducted this survey, not one single recruiter said that you need to limit yourself to one page. And the reason behind this is that we've moved into a new area of applicant tracking systems. So when you hand your resume into a company, the first line of hiring is now a piece of software that scans your resume, looks for metrics, keywords, and things about your history that helps cull it down. So by the time it actually gets to a hiring manager, there may only be 25 out of 1,000 resumes left.
Yeah, and by the way, when you're looking at it online, nobody can tell what a page is. I mean, it just keeps rolling, so it doesn't really matter.
It's so true. So that myth is busted. Do not need to stick to one page anymore.
Forget that myth. It doesn't have to be one page. Well, let's stay with sort of the software and the techie and the .com part of it. Should you include your LinkedIn URL?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is another way that the job application process has been affected by technology. Today, in our survey, over 70% said that they did want a LinkedIn URL on the resume because everybody checks it today. In some ways, your LinkedIn information is more valuable than what's on a written resume because it's verified by the community in some ways. You're not going to lie about your work history information or job titles when your friends and colleagues and coworkers are all going to be able to see it.
Well, here's what people do tend to fudge a bit. I'm not going to say lie, but they do fudge, and that's about their salary. So do you even put a salary or salary desires on there? Because I would assume if I'm a recruiter, oh, I'm currently getting this, that can't possibly be verified or / true.
It's so true. And at some point during the interview process or a phone screen, they're probably going to ask you about the salary. You don't need to include it up front. Oh. Only 40% of respondents asked for it right up front in terms of recruiters. So it's something you can leave off until it comes up later. And then it's okay to provide a range of salaries that are acceptable to you for that position in the area you're looking. So it's worth doing some research.
How about this one, which is always touchy? How much history should you include? We get that you include your last couple of jobs, but do you go back to your high school debate team? Or, I mean, if you won a great award there that ended up being, champion of the debate, that might be interesting, but how far back do you go? It's always tough.
If you won an award, you want to list all your accomplishments because those sometimes help you get through the tracking systems, and it's great to have the full story of your career on there. However, for jobs that you had more than 10 years ago, I would limit it to 2 or 3 bullet points about that. You can condense it a little bit, but still include it because it's part of the narrative of your career, and it's worth including.
I put in that in 6th grade, I was the first girl to get her AV license at my elementary school, the audiovisual. Yeah, I was a geek. I ran the film strip and the overhead projector, but it showed a pattern, didn't it? I'm in the media business.
It does. That tells a great story about you.
Andrew, great to see you. Thank you so much. We're going to put all of these on our Facebook.com/AfterTheBell page because I think it's really valuable. Thanks for the good work, Andrew.
Great. Thanks for having me on.
You bet.